And he essentially insults his hosts and says, yeah, we've been doing bioethics in England as well, but we don't shout about it. And he points to the Church of England's kind of pamphlets on monogamy and marriage in the 50s, and he points to the achievement of the Abortion Act in 1967 in the UK. And I just wondered whether you thought that at the same time as like the rise of bioethics, the bigger things that we can point to, whether under the surface there was kind of a continual kind of relationship between medicine and religion and policymakers and people that kind of discussed in a kind of in a less public manner issues about medical ethics before bioethics exploded and became what it is today.
I do think in Britain and the continent there's more continuity than there is in the United States. And you're going to have to read the book when it comes out. But there was the failure of organized American medicine to grapple with those issues. Deals a lot with the fragmentation of American and American specialty groups and the lack of leverage, and that goes back a long way. And then this American individualism also plays a role. So there's a very different history if you're looking at Britain or the continent. The World Medical Association was founded in London. The WMA was taking and practicing a international bioethics, what Heather would call a global bioethics, certainly from the late 1940s, early 1950s onwards. There was a perception that the ethical issues were global, and there were all sorts of things going on in Britain and in Europe that, again, sketch a very different kind of history. The reason why you get this break in the United States, as I said, was this failure of organized medicine and government to respond to these problems. And so you get all these groups of people who are outsiders coming in, and that becomes a kind of model that influences the rest of the world. And so but you did definitely have a kind of indigenous movements in Europe that dealt with these problems. As Soren said, in the 50s and 60s, everybody wrote a book on, in every culture there's a book on euthanasia. There was a book on abortion and this sort of thing. So those discussions were going on, and they have a lot more influence, I think, in Europe and in Britain than they do in the United States.
Yeah.